Hola amigos, welcome to Life for Living Well channel. Please subscribe to keep the channel going. You can also check us out by visiting our website on www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Sit down and enjoy the helpful topic for this week. Hey, welcome back to another episode from Life for Living Well. My name is Richard, and before we get started with the topic I have this week, I want to say if you'd like to know more about Life for Living Well, you can check us out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. If you also like to write to me directly, you can send your email to hello@lifeforlivingwell.com. Now let's get started. The topic I have for us this week, I call it how to find confidence by travel alone. So the topic for this week, I call it how you can find confidence by travel alone. It takes a minimal effort to travel alone these days, but the result is enormous in our emotional growth. Today, we don't even do it a lot, as many people are afraid of embarking into this exploitative gesture and adventure, as we like to share many things with so many different people, and also the comfort and the security that brought to us. It also handicaps us to in touch with our adventure side. There's some people that they feel more confidence in the security, how things should be, and the formidable tribes that they built for themselves. There's also part of them that they also repress, which is more adventure in experiencing things. But how do we actually build the confidence? Because some of the confidence that we actually have is the confidence that based on things that we have no control about it. Confidence we get through our relationships, maybe through our partner. Confidence we get through our friends, our family. Confidence we get through our job. Confidence we get through our house, our car. Confidence we get through things that's outside of us. But I'm talking about the confidence that comes within us. Confidence that it is very difficult to destroy it or take it away from us. And simplest and quicker way of developing this confidence, observation shows that is travel alone. Is how you build this confidence, because one thing will happen, you take more accountability more, you take more responsibility more, and these are the things that we don't normally do in our day-to-day life. We blame other people to what happened to us where we are in our life. Even we blame politicians for all the problems we have. No doubt about it that the politicians contribute to it, but they don't create or manage all those problems 100%. But we tend to blame anyone for it. We blame our parents, we blame our friends, we blame our partner. But when the real confidence comes, one thing he put on you is responsibility and accountability, and you no longer blame someone that you get lost in a foreign country. You eat lunch, you order for lunch food for breakfast because you didn't understand the language. It is funny, but it is true. So, it takes a minimal effort to travel alone these days, but the result is enormous in our emotional growth. Why do only few people die to do this? This is the question I'm throwing to you as you listen to this podcast this week. Why do you think only few people actually do this? Young people tend to do this a lot when they have a gap in school. They do tend to travel a lot. But why do they give this up later in life? Perhaps because of the business of life, or because of the priority change, family, raising children, limited resources, and you have to plan how much you can spend in doing this thing. What about people that don't have this social demand on their resources, but they still don't do it because they are afraid of unknown? Why do only few people die to do this? Many people take this option in a dire situation, only such in economic hardship or flee war zone. When you see people moving in drone to another part of the world or that country, it could be for economic reason or political persecution or civil war. This article is not, or podcast is not focusing on an unfortunate event, but to encourage you to embrace a purposeful and intentional travel that support your spiritual needs and which lead to other areas of growth in your life beyond your expectation. You will be surprised how much travel alone could shape your character and develop some virtues that you didn't know you have. What does traveling alone involve? So let's look at it this way. Most people, especially in the Western world, when you want to travel, you probably travel, depends on your age and your resources. You probably travel on a package holiday or go with their best friends or family and stay away from the local because they don't want to offend them or they are afraid of the unknown. So what does traveling alone involve? It will encourage daring to leave your comfort place, reflection on your actions and behaviors, and time to slow down. So when you go to a country where you don't speak the language, you don't know any rule, it is impossible to rush. It will slow you down completely. You will think about your actions. You will think about the reaction of the others. You will collaborate more. And if you cannot possibly always do things by yourself, and you are not comfortable to ask for help, you will learn to do that. And also to take the total stranger world on a face value. We all have a comfort zone, and the question is, what is your comfort zone? Some people, their comfort places are their houses, language they spoke, foods, orderliness. Some people can't tolerate chaos. Some people can't tolerate ugliness. Know-how. They need to know where they put things, how things work is so important to them. So when you now put them to where things work opposite or things doesn't work the way they imagine will work. It creates enormous stress and anxiety in them. And naturally, we don't tend to put ourselves in things like that. We tend to avoid it. But to develop this inner confidence that I'm throw to us this week, we cannot do it when we remain in our comfort zone. But when we deliberate, when we purposeful, we choose the environment we want to put ourselves into. And the best quicker way of developing this kind of solid intrinsic confidence is to travel alone. Similarity. So most people are comfortable with similarity, family, friends, and many more. Then our confidence is built on flaky ground that can be taken away from us any moment. Slowly, our inner confidence with great self-assurance that comes from traveling alone cannot be measured. So when you have this kind of confidence that I'm throwing to us right now, this kind of confidence is difficult. You have some kind of swagger about you, knowing that whatever you're going through right now, you're going to be fine. That cannot be on something that outside of you alone. Cannot be with kind of friends you are, because they might not want to be your friend tomorrow. And if your self-worth, your happiness was built on that alone, you're going to suffer. The job you have today, you can lose it tomorrow. The family that you have today, they might no longer there again. So these are the things that you build outside yourself, but it also make you more vulnerable in many ways. So what does it take to ask for a favor? Only when you travel alone, you will realize that the homeless guy that begging you for a loose change, if you change the role that you have, you might not be able to do it because of your own pride and self-respect. But to ask for somebody for a favor, you find yourself in a country where you don't have the local currency to pay for your transport, or you need to pay for the toilet and you don't have the coins and you are desperate for it, and you see the bunch of elderly people beside the road, and the only thing you could do is to tell them the predicament you are and little help you need to solve those problems. How does that feel for you? Only when you amaze yourself with this environment, that's when your confidence really become to gel together. A direction from a stranger. You ask for a direction from a stranger, you really stop them, you bother that you look that they are in a hurry and they were desperate to get away, and you take your time to say, excuse me, and you tell them that you're going somewhere but you don't know how to get there. Does that sound familiar to them, the name of the place? And they told you that, oh, I don't speak the language you asked me the question from. And you eager on, or they speak but not good enough, or you're patient enough to let them explain the best they could. So how would you know without you ever trying to be in a country where you do not even speak or comprehend the local language? So I've seen people go to other parts of different countries, and then they now go to the restaurant that serve the food on the country on their own food. They stay in the silo with the people that speak the same language as them. Then the question is, they miss the chance of getting to know the places that they just moved to. They put them something wrap them in a bubble, so they don't really experience it. So they export and import their comfort zone into another land. So this is the catch. So Ever trying to be in a country where you do not even speak or comprehend the local language? What will your feelings be in a situation like this? How do you handle uncertainty? Is it something that you can contend with? These are the things that you have to ask yourself. The outcome of the experience of lone travel is not only spiritual, but different layers of positive virtue derived from it. I'm telling you, look at throughout the history, from great men and women, one thing they've developed in themselves is to add habit of travel alone into their life. Because at that moment, they unlock something about themselves, and that carry on throughout their lifetime. They are not born with it. It's something that they develop it. And this, in a way, is a kind of spiritual process. Our exposure to risk has been significantly managed these days, which has made some people bored and have a feeling of emptiness. Because by nature, how did our great-grandfathers have done it? They live all the time on constant anxious and worry that the wild animal or wild beast could take their family, or starvation could kill them. So they're constantly finding a way to provide for them. In doing that, they take a great length of adventure by journeying into the forest, into the white forest, to look for the food for them, for themselves and their family. We do not need to do that these days, but you see the amount of resources and blessings that our great-grandfather didn't have, that me and you benefit and enjoy this day. We don't often do it, and when we do it maybe, I'm not talking down package every day. There's a place for it, but it minimizes so much adventure, so much exploration away from us. It tells us to see what we needed to see, and as a result, it limited the growth that we didn't know we can actually make happen for us. So our exposure to risk has been significantly managed these days, which has made some people bored and have a feeling of emptiness. Today, people go hiking in the forest and have over-invested in gadgets in order to pinpoint the routes or call for the help if they got lost. Hardly can people tolerate uncertainty. To a degree, of creativity and innovation often emerge from this state of mind. If you look into all the great discoveries that happen to mankind, most of them happen by accident, by trying to explore, open-minded about it, and try to experiment things, and then our moment come out. It's hardly great invention happen, but we're thought of, we're orderly planned, and get the result that way. So you reveal the unrevealing through the share of your ingenuity. So to bring this podcast to the end, travel alone will empower you to take responsibility for your own security and well-being. That covers planning, insurance, engaging, and being alert. You no longer worry of getting lost or keeping the gadget to send you SOS when you get lost. You plan, and if you don't know the area very well, you read the local news, you take your own security You take the ownership of your own security rather than outsource it to other people. You become mindful of your security and the need to take care of your well-being without outsourcing it to a third party. Exposing yourself to an experience like this would improve your self-confidence and self-assurance that you are enough and you are complete. Not the least, it will trigger a sense of gratitude in you because you'll be so surprised things that you will say that you didn't know it exists. You wouldn't even know how fortunate you are. The fact that you have the chance to travel, you're already fortunate. There's billions of people in the world that cannot do that. Simply because of the resources or the environment they find themselves. So knowing you will need little to exist and little you need for your happiness will become an intrinsic strength that cannot be taken away from you. So, going to bring this podcast to the end this week. So the question is, how do you travel alone in the world? And what do you get in doing that? You develop intrinsic confidence in exposing yourself in this way. And if you'd like to know more about this particular topic for this week, you can check it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Once again, my name is Richard and I hope you well. Please stay safe. Thank you. From everyone here from Life for Living Well, we say hasta luego, amigos. Thank you for your time this week. May your rest of the week be safe and loving. Please subscribe to our channel to keep it going. And you can find more information on our website by visiting www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Goodbye.